Soup is on special assignment tonight. He'll be back with us next week. I just want to say that this is the It's Your Perspective Talk Show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We do have a telephone number, 340-201-9005. You can call or text us on that number as well. But most importantly, you have to go to our Facebook page. It's Your Perspective Talk Show. Be able to see the show there in its entirety. I've shared it to my personal page, which is David Christian, and I've also shared it to my Facebook page, which is another page that I manage is streaming live from the vi.com. That's our website. We also have a Facebook page that says the same thing. You can also catch the feed there. Shout out to our sponsors, Maggie's Party Decor and Supersonic Computer Services. Thanks for supporting us from the very beginning. And as always, got to give a quick shout out to CHS Class of 1982. That's the year that Super and I are representing. But as we roll on here, we do have some special guests in the studio tonight. There they are, real quick. You guys wave to the crowd. They're seeing you here, there, and everywhere. Thanks for coming in. We have Jeanette Ehlers.
Yeah.
Ehlers and Lavon Bell. Thank you guys for coming in here. These ladies are artists. They are infamous for the I Am Queen Mary statue. How you guys doing?
We're great.
You good? You good? You good coming in
We're
here?
infamous.
You guys are infamous, famous. You guys have, I guess, achieved something big here. I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
How you guys doing? How you guys feeling about things?
We're feeling good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're excited. I mean, I'm excited for Jeanette to be here because we have
Okay.
a lot going on this weekend.
Okay. This your first time in St. Croix?
No, it's my third.
Your third time? Okay.
Yeah. The first time was in 2009, early
Okay.
2009. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And I was here a few years ago too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Was the I Am Queen project sort of in progress then?
A few years ago.
Yeah, when you came the second time.
Yeah. It was kind of.
In
yeah.
the early stages of
Yeah.
the concept and putting
Yeah.
it together, how
Yeah.
we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long you guys been friends? You guys are artists. Tell us a little bit about your particular field. I like paintings, but there's many areas of
Yeah.
art that one could get into and like. So what do you guys deal with?
Well, Jeanette and I met in 2000, was it 8?
Yeah.
In 2008 when I was in Denmark. I was there for a residency, and I would say we both it was a turning point in both of our lives because we were both starting to turn our artistic practices towards thinking about our colonial history.
Okay.
Me from the perspective as a Virgin Islander, and Jeanette from a perspective as a Dane.
Okay.
And
Afro-Dane.
as an Afro Dane, which is significant. She could talk more about that. But so we met in an artist talk, which
Okay.
is kind of ironic because here we are doing an artist talk
Okay.
together. I mean, we've done many so far, but since working together. But we met in an artist talk, and then our careers kind of traveled along a parallel trajectory for almost a decade.
Okay.
And then a few years ago we intersected, and with this project, I Am Queen Mary.
Okay. Okay. So the project of I Am Queen, how did this come about? I mean, you guys, I mean, you could have probably done many types of structures of many different types of things, but why this particular one? What was the reason for that?
It was in relation to the centennial
Okay.
last year, and a researcher named Helle Stenum, a Danish researcher, she was very keen on doing an exhibition in Denmark and in the Virgin Islands
Okay.
for the centennial. But unfortunately, she didn't manage to raise money
Okay.
for it. But both Lavon Bell and myself, had started working on several projects because we were supposed to be in the exhibition
Okay.
on each side of the ocean, or actually also, I think.
There's a possibility. I mean, the project was in its infant stages, but the idea was that there would be 2 monuments.
Okay.
And they would have some aspect of mobility in it. One
Okay.
in the Virgin Islands and one in St. Croix in particular, and one in Denmark.
Okay.
So the project started off as 2, and then we joined it into 1, and
Okay.
then maybe it might be 2 again. We'll see. Maybe it might be 4. We're part of the event that Jeanette is here for is we're having a series of artist talks. We're launching a 3-island artist talk and open forum tour.
Okay.
So we're inviting everyone to come. The first one is going to be on St. Croix this Saturday at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts, and it's being hosted by Chant. And that's going to be at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Okay.
The second one is on Sunday, where we go to St. John, and we're
Okay.
going to be hosted by Bajo El Sol Gallery.
Okay.
And then the third one is on Monday, and we're being hosted by the Senate President, Senator Myron Jackson, and we're
yeah.
going to be speaking at the legislature.
Oh, really? Okay.
And that one is interesting, and the reason why we're speaking there is because Senator Jackson has a bill called I don't want to say the name, but it's basically similar to a percent for art bill, which are these bills that all the capital investment projects that come into a territory or a city, you would take a percentage of that money and put it into public art
Okay.
or other art projects.
So you guys are going to be testifying, or
No,
just something just
he
separate?
wants us to kind of present our project because it gives a really good idea for his colleagues of what his bill is really could be about and the
Okay.
power of what public art could do.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay. Is there a lot? Is there a lot when you say public health? Is there a lot of that?
no public art.
Public art. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Public health was the other interview.
It's healthy though. Art can be.
Public art. Is that an area that needs to be built up? I mean, like art. I guess art in school and
Yeah.
in general, is that something?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Virginians have, for example, been to the airport in Miami, and if you've ever been to the airport in Miami, there's public art everywhere, from
Yeah.
in the walkways to the ceiling to the railings to
Okay.
the staircases. So it's thinking about, for example, let's say the bypass.
Mm.
When that project was done, we see all this big, just rock, all this track of walls. That could have been a project all along there.
Mm. Oh,
That
okay.
you could have hired an artist to do something interesting on those walls. So
Okay.
it's thinking about how can you, it could be just purely aesthetics, but it could also have a concept like ours does.
Yeah.
It's, so
Okay.
it's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
Interesting.
actually really amazing to experience how great an impact public art can have on,
Okay.
on people.
Okay.
And a space.
Yeah,
Because,
and a space as well. of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Well, what could you put by the bypass?
I mean, it could be anything. It could be inside of all of the cement that you have. You
Okay.
could for example, like in the Miami airport, they have metal motifs that are things from the ocean. It could have been faces. It could have been flower. I mean, it could have been
Yeah.
anything. It
Okay.
could have been metal. It could have been a tile mosaic all
Oh.
along. It could have been very colorful. It could have been more subtle.
Okay.
It could have been using, for example, it could even have been using landscaping, but using it in an artistic way.
Artistic
So
way.
there's a lot of different things. yeah.
Okay. So the whole thing of the structure and being over in Denmark. I mean, what was that like? I mean, I'm sure I was watching it on social media, and it seemed like it was a big media frenzy. Everybody was talking to you guys. It was just a big. You guys still absorbing that, or is that all the excitement of that all gone away now?
No, not at all. We still get letters and mails from people who have been,
Okay.
passing by and who actually go to Denmark to see it.
To see it, okay.
And,
Yeah.
people are responding to it.
Yeah.
And it's really been a great experience and still is.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's becoming quickly
Yeah.
one of the most iconic sculptures in Denmark.
Oh, really? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like we just had we just had an article that came out in the Guardian where they talk about, it was a travel writer writing about things to do in Denmark, and the travel writer talks about how the Little Mermaid, I don't know if most people know, but like the Little Mermaid is one of the most famous sculptures in the world, just kind of like how the Christ the Redeemer is very famous in Brazil, or they have these famous iconic sculptures in the world. So the Little Mermaid is one, but the Little Mermaid is little.
Yeah.
And so she was talking about the experience of traveling to Denmark, going to see the Little Mermaid. Well, first seeing I Am Queen Mary because it's on the way.
Okay.
And then being like overcome with it's so colossal and all the history that it comes with, and then going to see the Little Mermaid and feeling very underwhelmed.
Yeah.
And then having to walk back because it's at the end, and then you got to walk back and pass
Okay.
I Am Queen Mary again.
Okay.
So yeah, I think it's very impactful. I mean, we get tagged all the time on Instagram and social media of people, tourists who go to see it and
Okay.
tag us in it, and testimonies and letters and
Yeah. Yeah. Just a lot of fan mail.
yeah, quite
Yeah,
just think
I don't know
people-
if you can call it fan mail. It's just acknowledgements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I guess in this modern time with social media, it's not called fan mail. It's called it's called comments. It's called comments in social media.
But to speak to the media, the project was reported in over 100 media outlets around the world.
Okay.
I would probably say like what, 20 countries maybe?
Yeah, a lot of countries and a lot of different.
Okay. So as you live there, I mean, do you see it every day on your way to work, or I mean?
No, because I work at home.
Okay. Okay.
but no, but of course I've been there a few times, and I really like to go there just
Okay.
to just to make sure everything is okay, nobody vandalized it or anything.
Okay.
But also just to check out the people that pass by and.
Do you tell them that you're responsible for that, or you just kind of keep that a secret?
No, I just keep that.
Secret. Okay.
Yeah. But sometimes I have to go there and just present it to someone.
Okay.
And then it will show that I'm the creator.
And then people start taking pictures.
Yeah. I got you.
But there's always a lot of people passing by,
Okay.
especially now in the summertime.
Okay.
Actually, we had a friend of ours who stood for 7 hours and he counted 1,200 people.
Yeah.
Over 1,200 people that stopped to take and engage with it in some way.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so that's 1,200 a day.
Okay. Wow. Is it free? Is it a free sighting?
Yeah,
it's
it's
in
on
Harbourfront.
it's on the harbor, so it's a walking. It's just like
Just
just
something-
imagine like walking on the boardwalk
Yeah.
and you see it.
You see it
something
right
like
there,
that.
okay.
And it's in front of the West Indian Warehouse.
Okay.
That is now called the Royal Cask Collection because it houses more than 2,000 copies of sculptures
Okay.
from the what do you call it? The Western iconic
Yeah.
art history.
Okay.
From Greek antiquity to the Renaissance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
casts of that. Yeah.
Okay. So these events that you have coming up, are they're the first one do they all have the same topic, or
They're
they diff-
slightly different because of the host, and I should mention that it's being sponsored by the Department of Tourism and
Okay.
Chant, and but it's so. For example, the one at the Caribbean Museum Center, because it's happening on St. Croix and it's happening in Frederickstead, we expect that one to be a lot, and it's a nonprofit, already a cultural space. We expect a lot of people to show up, and it to be, maybe the most fiery discussion possibly.
Okay.
But, there's also a lot of supporters as well. But our idea is to also really talk about what happens next. A lot of people have asked us, are you bringing a version of that sculpture to
Yeah.
the Virgin Islands? And that's a question we also toss back out. I mean, as we have talked about before, the project started off with the idea of having two, and they merged into one because of the funding sources were in Denmark.
Okay.
But we've been approached by agencies here who want to help us fund it here.
Okay.
So if that's the case, there's a lot of questions because, for example, that sculpture is the equivalent in English and American metrics is what, like 23 feet? So it's the easiest to imagine is like 2.5 stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Most
very
buildings in
huge.
Frederickstead are not even that tall.
Yeah.
So,
So
to
they'll
put a
be
sculpture
towering
that
o-
big doesn't make
towering over,
sense.
yeah.
So when we say a version, all of those will change depending on the location.
Yeah. You think of 2.5 stories. This
Yeah.
is a 2-story building, so this would be bigger than this building in a sense, which is huge.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
huge.
But it has to match because there's in front of the warehouse in Copenhagen there's a sculpture of David,
On the other
Michelangelo's
side of the
David.
building.
Yeah.
So and it's 2 stories tall. So
Yeah.
this one we created, it couldn't be any smaller than that.
Yeah.
So of course it needed to be as
Yeah.
big as
Right.
that.
And then also in the city of Copenhagen, there's other sculptures of that size, of kings.
So it kind of all looks.
So yeah, so it makes sense in a city like that.
Yeah.
The scale makes
To
sense.
make it
In
big
a-
as that,
In
yeah.
the Virgin Islands, first the scale would have to change.
Okay.
And then other things, maybe there are a lot of other things that maybe also would change. So that's what we're interested in opening up that conversation. Should it be that sculpture but just a smaller one? And then if so, where would it go?
Okay.
And so we're opening that up conversation to the community to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
actually, someone also suggested that we should make 4 sculptures. So one in Copenhagen, one in St. Croix, one in Ghana, and one in the States.
Yeah.
Which
Oh.
I think is really nice, also because of the 4 queens, of course, but
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
kind of spread it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because also what this project is about is actually to connect the diaspora.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it really talks into that
Yeah.
tradition.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you say you're sort of leaving this up to the residents, so I mean you.
No, I wouldn't say that, but we're opening up the conversation to the community. That
Okay.
we want like to have a dialogue about that, but of course the decision is the artist. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you say the artist, what do you mean? You guys have the final say, or what do you mean?
Yeah, we're the creators of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it's our, I mean, this project was not commissioned.
Okay.
It's our project.
Okay.
And we did it.
Okay.
We created
Yeah.
it. We also made all the funding, and we pushed into public space.
To
We
get
weren't
everything.
invited. We just took it.
Okay, I got
Of course,
you.
we had to get permissions and all
Yeah.
that, but we weren't invited to do it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people also didn't quite understand that because a lot of the reporting said Denmark gets sculpture, or they made, Denmark is, so they made it sound like it was a government issued project or that, but it wasn't. It really was us pushing into the space, and because of the success and the attention that the project got, now agencies and the mayor of Copenhagen and other institutions are coming to us and would like to help us to make sure that it's a permanent project. But that was not the case. So,
Okay.
To
I
bring the project here, there's also, it's a different community, it's a different funding. We don't have those. It's just so
Yeah, it's
it's
just
really
a-
to open up the conversation. What would that look like? What would that feel like? We had a lot of autonomy because of the way that we did the project.
Okay. Okay. And
But
you
also, it's I think people, they couldn't really imagine what it would be like before, when we had all the funding and all that, and also trying to get the permission and all that. I think people now, when it's here, they can see it.
Yeah.
They know how impactful it is.
Yeah.
And they know that this was missing. So
Yeah.
it really means
Yeah.
something that to create it, to just do it,
Okay.
Yeah.
and then.
But now it's different here because, of course, Virgin Islanders have a lot of people have already seen it. So it's a different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
different. It's almost like if you think even about, for example, the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty has, I think, 2 or 3 versions of it.
It has one in France,
Yeah.
in Paris, but also, that's a good
Yeah.
example.
Oh, I didn't know
there's
that.
a smaller. There was. I
Yeah,
think there's
a
a
smaller
smaller
version.
version.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
And also, actually, what do you call it? The Arc, the Triumph of Arc, or what do you call it in Paris?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, there's a big one, but there's also a smaller one. So,
Yeah.
you have different versions.
Okay.
Right.
of it.
Okay. Let me ask you guys this. So this is I Am Queen Mary. So you guys, you're obviously ladies. I mean, does this have any direct emotional impact on you guys as queens? I am Queen Mary. I am queen. I mean, does it have a direct impact on you and just being a lady, a woman?
Yeah.
Does it have any impact on you guys? Does it make you feel more motivated to do things?
It's quite empowering, I
Okay.
think, actually, because, as mentioned before, nobody could imagine what it would be like. And also, as I said before, this is something that we did. I mean, we had the power to do it, and to overcome
Yeah.
that and to just do it is so overwhelming.
It's so powerful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So
it seems, when you put it in the context, right? We're 2 black female artists, and the art world is predominantly white, especially in Europe. I mean, there's not even many sculptures of women, much less made by women,
Yes.
much less of people of color,
Color.
or made of 2 women of the African diaspora. So all of that is really significant in terms of us taking our place. Like if the art world is not going to accept it, we can create our own opportunities. And so it's very significant in that. And, also just having a figure that is standing for resistance. But, of course, because the title is I Am Queen Mary, and we've talked about this when I came on, that the sculpture is also about the labor and the resistance because the stones are at the plinth, the bottom of the sculpture is a very important aspect as well, and that represents, all the laborers. Those, if you remember that's the coral stone that we took from my buildings here in St. Croix.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so those coral stones were the stones that enslaved Africans caught out of the ocean and used them to form the foundation, and that's the foundation of most of our historic structures. So it's
Okay.
kind of signaling that foundational wealth and the labor that's often invisible, and making that visible and showing that this
Yeah.
is the true foundation of these societies.
Okay.
And she sits on top of that.
Yeah.
So
Strong, it's a strong foundation.
yeah,
Strong
and
foundation.
that's really important to acknowledge them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why the I is multiple. It's almost like how Rasta say I and I.
Yeah.
It's although it's I Am Queen Mary, when you say it, it's you. When you say it, so it's multiple.
Okay.
By centering it like that, it
Okay.
becomes multiple. It's not just about one person.
Person.
It's about many people.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the event on Sunday, is it sort of a different topic too?
I think each, that's interesting for us to see, because I think each location, the conversation will be slightly different. St. John has a different community. They've been, I think, probably the most ravaged by the hurricane. And, they sometimes often get forgotten. So
Yeah.
for us to just even extend and go there
Yeah.
and really want to engage with St. Jonians, I think is significant, and we're really excited to do that.
Okay.
But this is going to be in a gallery space owned by two young Virgin Islanders.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it's their private gallery, and it's one of the only kind of cultural art spaces in St. John. And
Oh, really?
so that's
Okay.
where we're going to do it over there.
Okay. Okay. Good.
And then the legislature is, of course, a whole other dynamic,
Yeah,
on St.
yeah.
Thomas. So
Okay.
we're excited for that. That's Monday night. yeah.
Okay. So, but all three events, you are going to sort of you're trying to get feedback from the community on.
Yeah, engage in a dialogue, I think, is the best way. So we want to first present, we're first going to present the project so that people can understand where we were coming from, how the stages of the project, how it came into fruition, what it looks like, show pictures of the different stages and things like that. And then open it up for dialogue about what people think about the sculpture, what they're feeling, what questions they have, and then thinking about next stage on both areas, because next stage for us, we're in the process of writing a budget to do it in bronze
Okay.
or another more permanent material, but we're leaning towards bronze. And then here, there's that open question of, okay, do we also commit to doing one in the Virgin Islands?
Okay.
And what would that be like, and what's that process like? And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, do you have like a time frame when you think that this would all be done? Is this
They're
sort
all
of-
2 hours, but each location, it may go longer, but our first part, usually between 40 minutes is our part, and then
Okay,
it
the
opens up.
presentation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you're talking about the process of the sculptures, or?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that too.
Oh, is that what you meant? I understood you meant the artist talks.
Well, that,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a couple hours long, but then,
Yeah.
I mean, once you're moving forward, I
Yeah.
mean, how long? I mean,
I think it could last many years.
Yeah.
I mean, for
A few years.
us to find
Oh,
out
really?
how to do it in bronze or whatever material we figure out, it could easily be like 2 years or
Yeah.
so.
Oh, really? Okay.
I know,
We
it's
have
people
to-
don't realize what,
Yeah, there's so much work.
Yeah,
There's
people
so
have no
many things
idea.
we have to figure
Yeah.
out. And again, we don't have a lot of people within the institutions, helping us. We
Okay.
have a few, and that's really, really great. We're grateful for that. So there's a lot of things we have to organize ourselves and find out.
Okay.
So it takes a while.
Yeah.
Wait, would you guys like to see it here? I mean,
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But there's a lot of questions. So,
Okay.
for example, the first question is where. I think before, what it looks like is where. Right? Would you think that's the first question? I think it might be
Yeah.
first where.
Yeah.
Because I think the site will help dictate what it looks like, how big it needs to be, what is, so it's first thinking about where.
Okay.
And depending on that, that's a whole lot. So if it's like a government-owned space, is it a private-owned space? Is it
Okay.
a non, who owns the space that we're going to put it
Put-
at?
put
And
it at.
then that also will create a whole other set of restrictions or negotiations. And
Oh.
then, so there's a lot to
There's
think
a
about.
whole-
But I
it's
think
a
the first
long-winded
question
process,
is,
yeah.
where?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess my next question is, any negative feedback? I mean, has anybody been like, this, I don't like it, take it out of here?
Yeah. We got a lot of that too. I mean, but from
All
many
kinds.
different perspectives. I mean, in Denmark, it's mostly very like nationalist, like racist types.
Yeah.
That will,
Yeah.
Yeah.
will diminish it.
Yeah.
Diminish it, and really, talk badly about it and don't want it there.
Is it like in a safe place? Is it out in the open, or is it just
well,
like,
we have, but I just want to clarify. So the negativity, the negative feedback in Denmark is things like, why are you celebrating a terrorist? So that just helps you to understand the different perspective and who is saying these things. Because of course, for us, she's not a terrorist.
Yeah.
But in their mind, when they learn about who she is, they're like, oh well, she was a criminal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was
Why
a bad
are you
person, yeah.
celebrating a
Yeah.
criminal?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
a
know,
lot of people they would say that.
So
and,
that's
and also,
some of-
sorry, one of the other things is that she weren't a slave.
Yeah.
And then people are like, so what's the problem?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And it just shows the ignorance.
Yeah.
And the ignorance is very big
Yeah.
around these issues in Denmark. So that's why it's so
So,
important.
but I want to, because I don't know so when they say she's not a slave, what they're saying is they don't understand what the resistance and the revolt is about.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
So meaning that they think they don't really understand what was going on here to understand that they were living in slavery-like conditions, and that's why they were revolting, even though technically and legally they were not slaves.
No, not slaves, yeah.
So that's it more reflects the ignorance. So that's some of the negative feedback in Denmark. Sometimes too, it's about the that they think there's a lot of political layers in the piece. There's a lot of metaphors, and for some people it's too much.
Oh,
That's
okay.
another criticism that we've heard.
Okay. So, but this is you said, is this outside or is this like is it in
Yeah,
a,
it's outside.
it's outside?
Yeah,
so
you
I
can
mean,
see
is
it from the harbor. So anybody who goes on the tours on the canal, you could see it. I mean, you see it from.
so I mean,
many
is it protected?
locations.
I mean, is it secure in a sense?
No, I mean it's in front of the building
Yeah.
where you have
Yeah.
the other sculpture of
Yeah.
Michelangelo on
Okay.
the other side.
When you say
so it's-
protected, you mean like an armed guard? Like
Yeah. I
when
mean,
you-
no, it's just okay. It's just a
Yeah,
structure.
It's just any sculpture. It's just there.
It's
in
just
its
there,
place,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And
Good.
Actually, there's a lot of sculptures around Copenhagen.
That are sort of in open.
Yeah,
Yeah.
out in the open.
Okay.
And some of them they would have tags and graffiti, but we didn't have that. So
Okay.
far.
Yeah.
Okay.
We also have people coming to look out for it and to clean
Yeah.
it if something happens.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we took care of
Yeah,
that.
you got everything in place to
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
deal.
Yeah.
But of course, I mean, some of the backlash in the Virgin Islands was based on other things, as it would be different. So some of it was, for example, on the way that the sculpture looked, like the fact that she's sitting.
It actually looks like both of you guys. And I think you said it was sort of a superimposed.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, it kind of looks like both of you guys. When you look at it head on, I could kind of see.
And now that you see both of us, you
Yeah, I can
that,
see
yeah.
both of you guys in the facial, the physical facial
Yeah.
features there.
Yeah,
That was by design.
yes.
Okay.
It's because there is no image of Queen Mary that exists, and so when you're thinking about celebrating a hero like that, but not knowing what they look like, we decided that it would be really interesting to combine our two images and to create a new woman. But also, if you think about like your body holds memory. Both your DNA, your physical body, like your nose tells the story of your dad and your grandmother, and you know, it's on you. And so by doing a 3D digital scan of both of our bodies and then combining the two of them, it's like we're combining our two narratives, and we're creating a bridge between our two nations and our stories. So that
Yeah.
was the idea behind that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we are creating a hybrid between our art practices.
Yeah, too.
And
yeah.
again, by doing this hybrid of our bodies, it also speaks to the diaspora because we're connecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are trying to connect the gaps
Yeah.
and reach out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
very
So
empowering.
it's literally like if you just imagine that the two of us bent and went like this to put our two heads together, literally, that it creates this bridge that other people can walk on and tell their stories. So that's like, I always say that's a good visual metaphor to understand what we did. We went like that and connected. And that's the bridge. By bridging our bodies, that's what we did. So now other people narrative, other stories can kind of flow between that.
Between that and from
Yeah.
that, yeah.
But it's also really important to say that we as artists, we use ourselves a lot in our works. I mean, I do a performance where I use myself, and I've done videos before where I use myself. So I'm my own tool.
Yeah.
Your own material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Material,
So
okay.
in that sense, it feels very natural to kind of go into this process.
Okay.
Because yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of artist are you? Are you a painter or sculptor or?
I do several things, but mainly performance and video and photo.
Okay.
But I also do sculpture.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is my first sculpture, though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's a hell of a one to be your first
but
one.
I know. Yeah.
But I think for us, it's also like, that's why we titled it I Am Queen Mary, because, although I think like some of the pushback was that how dare we put ourselves in the sculpture? And I think we knew that wasn't a surprise to us. I mean, we knew, and that's part of the reason we titled it. We confronted that and made it a problematic by saying, I am Queen Mary. So that
Okay.
people could really understand that it's not just about saying I, but we, you, because when you say it's inviting people
Yeah.
into this
Yeah.
process with us.
Okay. So everybody basically is I am Queen Mary.
Absolutely.
You're looking at
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I could definitely see you guys for sure. I don't know about anybody else, but I can see you too. You know, you're like you know, an image. But I look at it, I see you guys'
Yeah.
image there.
But it's also a new woman that we
Yeah.
created. You know, nobody.
It's not really us.
she's
It's a
she's
new
never-
person
Yeah,
that
yeah.
doesn't
Okay.
exist. So it's almost
Nothing
thinking into the future. So what's interesting about this project is that, you know, it seems like it's talking about the past, but it's present and future.
Okay.
You know, it's all of that together
Okay.
in one.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone said really, really beautifully that this is a symbol of something that is about to happen or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was
Okay.
the Tina Camp quote,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
futurity.
yeah. That hasn't happened yet, but
Yeah.
it will.
It will
Yeah.
happen. Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's really beautiful.
Okay. All right. So you guys sound very excited about going around and sharing the info about this, and the open forum is just to sort of get some feedback.
Yeah, it's to really engage because, you know, the sculpture is only an artifact. All of this, like us talking on the radio, you know, last year we did an open forum in St. Croix just before I went up for the 3 months. All of this, all the conversations on social media, all the articles that have been written, all of it is a part of the project. So this is just another part of the project where we are stepping out and saying, hey, we're here. We'd love to talk to you about the sculpture and talk about the next stages and engage. And not just like us to the audience, but also audience to audience. Like I think also people wanted a space to talk about the sculpture.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so we're creating that vehicle. So
Okay.
it's not just to talk to us, it's also to talk to one another. Like let's have a community conversation
Conversation.
about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
but
pro-
it's really, I mean, this sculpture has really raised a lot of questions and also a lot of positive feedback in the sense that, you know, people, they get knowledge about history, but we also created a space for Black people
Yeah.
in Denmark, in the world.
In the
I mean,
in Europe too, but yeah.
yeah, because
everywhere.
you know Denmark is very white, and there's no space in the public space for people of color.
Okay.
All
Okay, I didn't know that.
All the statues that are around the city is of white males.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
98%.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
this is really, you know,
Sort of the
something-
first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a beautiful testimony just before the sculpture came out by Afro Dane, a young woman. She did a YouTube video called I Am Queen Mary.
Okay.
And she did a testimony about what it felt like for her to grow up being Black and Danish and never have anyone in her history that she could look up to and feel that she could identify. And what it felt like for finally she could find someone in Danish history that looked like her.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That she could identify with. And I think for us as Virgin Islanders, you know, we already have, like, Queen Mary's ours, so we don't know what that feels like to not have that. Like,
Okay.
not have heroes that you feel you could relate to. And when I say Danish history, because I know some people are like, wait, she's a part of Danish history. Yes, because it was, this was a Danish colony. The Fireburn is the largest Danish colonial revolt in
Revolt,
history.
yeah.
So it is a part
Workers'
of
revolt.
the workers' revolt. It's a part of Danish history as well. And what we did by making the project international is we introduced it internationally, this story as well. So it's because it's an international story. If you have not been colonized, you were a part of you were a colonizer. So many. That's why the story became global, because it is a global story.
It's a global story, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not in charge and you're
Everybody could relate to that,
Yeah.
right? Everybody could relate to that struggle, that legacy of resistance. And then also, of course, it's so much about female empowerment. You know, that's also something we didn't quite touch on, but, you know, you asked us that. But if you think about women in the public space and art, most female sculptures are naked.
Yeah. That's true.
I mean,
That's true.
There are a lot of their women are being displayed for their beauty and their body. When you look at I Am Queen Mary, most of what you see is her power,
Okay.
and that's a lot of because she's sitting, so she denies you the access to her body in that way,
Yeah.
which is really significant. So a lot of people, when they question, like, they envision Queen Mary like standing or charging. You know, this is another envisioning of her, another way of imagining her. And it's also very particular to the context. Because
Okay.
remember, Europe has a context and a history of displaying first women naked and looking at their body for pleasure. And then think about black women like Sarah Bartman, who was displayed in museums in Europe. You know, like, so you have to think about that context too. What would that have meant to put a figure that, you know, you see in all her bosom and
Yeah.
her voluptuousness that black women have, but in that context. So
It wouldn't be
we're-
quite right.
It's, so, you know, it's just getting people to realize that there are a lot of things to consider
Yeah.
when you're putting a figure in the public space. It's
Okay.
not just the history of that person, it's also the context of the location, the history
Yeah.
of that space, the building, how it's interacting with the other things.
Yeah.
So it's just hoping to, you know, part of the talk is to give people context and understanding of some of those other things that if they've never been to Denmark and they don't know,
Yeah.
those are some of the things that we had to consider.
Did you guys ever have any conversations about, you know, she's sitting, but like you said, maybe making her stand or maybe in another position? I mean, how, did you guys have to decide on the sitting position?
Yeah. I'll let Jeanette say.
Actually, the position is inspired by a project of mine where I'm sitting in this peacock chair.
Okay.
And that is again inspired by the iconic photo of Huey P. Newton from the Black Panther Party.
Oh, okay.
Sitting there. So it's inspired
Yeah.
from that, and it's connecting with that because what he was resisting against is of course the same thing Queen Mary
He was resisting against.
and what Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
For that sake.
Yeah. The
So
modern,
it,
yeah.
it kind of it has a lot of references,
Yeah. Okay.
and that position.
Okay. So we got a question here.
Yeah.
Someone came in on our Facebook stream here and is asking, question for you, Ms. Bell. With the USVI celebrating over 100 years under U.S. colonial status, have you and the Virgin Islands art community given thought to create a Virgin Islands flag?
I think it's a great question. I think part of this project, I mean, a lot of my work is about retransforming our symbols and iconography. This is thinking about giving a completely new symbol. I mean, I think you have it right there, our VI flag. Yes, we need to redo it. I think all of this will help people begin to have the conversation about the impact of visual symbols. And that maybe we need to change them.
Okay.
And develop new ones.
So have you guys
Yeah.
doodled late at night what a
No.
flag would look like?
No,
No.
I mean,
We've been concentrating.
yeah,
on
we've
the-
been pretty, yeah, but, yeah, I mean, I have thought about, I think there's some other artists who have done projects with students and getting them to redesign and reimagine what that flag is. And I think that's an important process for us to do. Because
Okay.
it starts to get us to question the symbols that we see, what they actually mean, and that maybe they don't properly represent us and we need to develop new ones.
Change it
Yeah.
around, yeah. Okay. All right, so I guess that sort of would answer his question. If you need to follow up questioner, please do. I'm looking at it right there. So yeah, these ladies have what they call a I Am Queen Mary Artist Talk, an open forum. I guess that's would you say come listen to the artists talk about their groundbreaking public art project, participate in a public discussion, and something find out. I'm chopped off my printing
Yeah.
here.
And find out what's next.
Find out what next for I Am Queen Mary, and tell us the dates again.
So the dates, the first one is July
14th.
14th, which is this
Saturday.
Saturday at the Caribbean Museum Center for the Arts on St. Croix at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Where is that at?
That's on Frederickstead. The building crosses both Strand Street, which is the street by the water,
Yes.
and King Street, which is the street the parade comes down on.
Yes.
So you can enter in either side.
Okay, okay.
And it's maybe like a couple buildings down from Yucca, like the
Okay.
customer's house. Yeah.
Okay.
A couple blocks down before
Okay.
that, yeah.
Okay. And then the second location you guys are going to
The
be in
second location is
St.
Bajo
John?
El Sol, and that's in St. John, and that's on Sunday at 4:30 to 6:30.
Okay.
And then the last location is, and it's open to the public, although it's in the legislature, but it's open to the public. It's on St. Thomas at 5:30 to 7:30, and yeah.
Okay.
And we've been invited by Senator Myron Jackson to do that.
And so we have another question here. It says, as women in the art community, do you feel you have to defend and explain your work more, your vision, than of your male counterparts?
I think that's a very good question too, and
Yeah.
I think that's true. I mean, we have to.
You know, work a little harder,
Yeah.
talk a little louder, just to
Definitely.
get.
We're questioned
Yeah.
more. Like, for
Yeah.
example, one of the criticisms that I saw was that, oh, you guys couldn't help but put yourselves in it out of vanity. And so that was, to me, a very gendered comment, because it was kind of this idea that as women, that we express ourselves by being vain, and that the project couldn't be about other things, just because we put our bodies and our physical images in it, that it had to be about narcissism or vanity. It
Yeah.
couldn't be about ideas,
Okay.
right? And that is very because we're women,
Yeah.
you know. So, in my opinion, you know, that's what I thought
totally
that was
agree.
about.
I totally
yeah.
agree. You know, there are male artists who use themselves also in sculpture, and they would never have the same. They would never have to defend themselves the
Okay.
same way that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are just working a little harder, like I said, a little louder,
Yeah.
just to get what you want.
But also,
in
I
front.
have to say that there's a Danish artist, a male, white male,
Uh-huh.
who was invited to do a sculpture, and he did a sculpture of a black man from St. Croix.
Victor Cornelius.
Victor Cornelius. And he I haven't seen the sculpture, but I guess it's really nice. But it's he was invited to do it. He got all the money he could, you know, to make it. Everything was cleared out, I
Yeah.
guess. As opposed to us, we had to figure out everything ourselves. We had to find the money. We had to do everything on
Yeah.
our own.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
So in that sense, it really also shows the power dynamics.
Okay.
And how certain genders
Yeah.
and races get different spaces and opportunities, and we had to create our own.
Create your own, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What about art here? Art here in the Virgin Islands, is that reaching far inside the school system, where with art and
No,
and
unfortunately, like
that
when
kind of stuff?
teachers are retiring, they're not replacing art teachers. So we're in a dire situation, and the reason why that's important, it may not be that you give art to a child because they want to be an artist. But what art is, it's a skill like anything else. It teaches you how to see things. You know, when I used to teach drawing at the university, for example, a lot of people think that drawing is about your technical hand. It's mostly about what you can see. So, for example, you do an activity where you're not supposed to look at your paper. You're supposed to only look at the whatever it is you're
The
trying
object,
to draw,
yeah.
because you're trying to connect your eye to your hand. You're trying to see all the details. You can't draw what you can't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that skill can be applied to so many other things in your life.
Okay.
And so when we eliminate art from our schools and our education system, we're creating a generation of people who don't have, and we're a much more visual world than ever. Think about Instagram and Faith, how visual our world is. And when we have people who don't know how to properly analyze and read images, we're doing them a disservice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you say our teachers aren't being replaced?
A lot of them are not.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, no.
So there's no art class?
There are in some schools, but there's, you know, like, I know, for example, that there's students that are coming out of our high schools that don't get art because
Okay.
it's one of the electives that they don't have time for and they're not pushed to take.
Okay. I
Because
got
art
you.
is still perceived as something that is not a viable profession, but we are here to say both of us are full-time artists. So it
Okay.
is a viable profession. We both are also, we have families and, you know, so.
Okay.
But it's
It's
actually
possible.
also in Denmark, they're also cutting down on the creative fields in schools.
Oh, really?
So it's
Okay.
not, it's I think it's a kind of a way the world is turning, you know.
Okay.
Just like
So what got you guys into art? I mean, I mean, why art? Why not, be a CEO of a Fortune 500 company? You know,
I asked
why?
myself that many times. But I didn't have any other choice.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. I was always drawn to creative, fields, and I did a lot of dancing and
Okay.
a lot of gymnastics and stuff like that, and music and all.
Oh, okay.
When I grew up,
Okay.
so I was always drawn to that, and I don't know why. For some reason, I was just really drawn to. I think it's you're very solitude sometimes in the art, and I like that. But I also like to connect, of course. And this project has really been
Yeah.
very, very fruitful.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I like to be my own boss
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah. I think we all do.
Yeah. So and to express myself. And
Yeah.
I'm not really good at creating music. I love music, but I'm not really good at creating it. So this is how I can, express myself.
Yeah, make your
Yeah.
contribution.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What about you?
I gravitated to art. I mean, I was one of those kids who could draw good in class. So I was always, I had some talent and skill, but I wanted to be a doctor. I went to Columbia pre-med, so I had other intentions in my life. And then I took a painting class my junior year and just kind of reconnected with my, I was mentored by a very well-known artist here all throughout my childhood, and he always encouraged me to be an artist, and I always said, no, I don't want to be an artist. I reconnected my junior year through a painting class and just felt like this is what I'm supposed to do with my life. It was the thing that I could do, and wasn't hungry, I wasn't tired, I didn't want to go to the bathroom. I mean, I just, that space of connecting with a process, I found really, really fulfilling. And it took a long time for me to figure out how to be an artist. Just like the logistics of it. Where am I going to find the time to do my work? How am I going to support myself? How do you make money? How do you, so it's taken me a long time to get here, but I'm excited for that. I wanted to touch on something because she talked about the collaboration.
Okay.
Because a lot of artists work solitary, as she said. You have to be very self-directed. But this collaboration taught me a lot. It was my first time collaborating with another artist in this way. And the process really, it was beautiful because the project got stronger because we had to agree. We had to talk everything out to make sure it couldn't be like, she really wants to do it and I'm like, I don't know. We both had to really agree. So what does that mean? That we both have to really agree because we think it's both the best.
Yeah.
And
It's not like it's three of you and you guys can vote and it could be two against.
No,
So,
no.
yeah.
It's a partnership.
Yeah.
So it really.
You guys, I'm sure you had to really agree.
Yeah, we had to, and so if you thought something and you really had to kind of think about the options and flush out the idea and really sit with it and have and be respectful because you don't want to railroad somebody, but you just to really.
Yeah.
So it was
Definitely
a
teamwork.
beautiful process,
Okay.
and then there's certain things that we both are very good at, and so just like certain logistics. Maybe someone's really great at logistics, and others good at marketing. Someone can do the website, but someone could, So we're all
Yeah.
like we worked really well together like that. Yeah.
Good team.
Yeah,
Good team to come. And so you guys knew each other, you said before, right?
Yeah, we knew
Just-
each other for 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, but we never worked together before, and
Okay.
the partnership really became solidified. I spent 3 months last year, and I spent a lot of time in Denmark, but I spent 3 solid months, and that was when we really, were meeting like several times a week and doing stuff, and that made the partnership have to really grow and solidify and
Yeah. Okay. Someone made a comment here. Someone says, great talk last night at Chant.
Thanks.
And then another, I guess this is just a comment. Someone says, like Mr. Carty
Yes, that was
taught us art and chess and to think differently and open our minds.
Yeah.
So you guys know who Mr. Carty is?
That was the
I don't know
art
who
teacher
he
that
is.
I was talking about that mentored me at St. Dunstan's.
Okay.
So
okay.
I had him as an art teacher from 7 to 17.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
for 10 years.
Okay, Mr. Carty. I
Yeah.
don't think I know. That's a older Crucian gentleman.
He wasn't Crucian. He was actually from New York.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, actually, I believe he was originally from New York, if my memory serves me correctly. But, we were very blessed. We had art several times a week, and, he was my mentor
Yeah.
all growing up. And, yeah, the person remembered that he used to also teach us chess. And he was also a working artist himself in addition
Okay.
to a teacher. So I remember he used to bring his projects into the classroom. And he would sometimes, I was kind of his teacher's pet. So he would be like, Levon, go do this. And then he would be there working a little bit on his work. So I also got to see what it was like to be an artist,
Okay.
because he would work on his projects.
He brings projects to class and working them in front of the class? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Who's a mentor for you?
I wasn't fortunate to have a mentor when I was a kid like
Okay.
that within arts, but I've had other very, very strong connections with my friends, and I have a very strong network, and my husband is also really, really supporting me within the arts, and he's also part of the process many times. You know, I can talk to him
Okay.
about my project.
He's an artist too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he
Yeah.
has, and he understands,
Yeah.
you know, my thinking.
Okay.
He can
Yeah.
also really help me develop it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I very much appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
But I'm very inspired by my network and
Okay.
by music. Also.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah.
All right, perfect, man. So you ladies, I want to thank you guys for coming through the
Thank
studio
you.
tonight and sharing the I Am Queen Mary, the Artist Talk and Open Forum. Come out and listen to the artists talk about the public art project they just completed. And they're going to be in 3 different locations starting Saturday, the 14th, at the Caribbean Museum Center of the Arts in St. Croix. Then on Sunday, July 15th, they'll be at Baja El Sol.
Bajo el Sol.
Okay.
That means under the sun.
Okay, you see, you had a little of that twist there.
Yeah.
And then Monday, they'll be at the office of Senator Myron
No.
Jackson.
No, we'll be at the legislature
Slature.
speaking in the chambers, but invited by Senator Myron Jackson.
Okay, so
the
you
Senate
guys are
president.
actually going to be in the chambers.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. I
Yeah.
thought it was sort of in. Okay, so
We'll
you're
be
gonna,
speaking in the chambers. Yeah.
okay, but this is not like a Senate hearing where you guys are sort of.
No,
Okay.
I mean, I think it's kind of unique for
Okay.
people to kind of been giving access like that. So we're gonna
Yeah.
be, and I think they're gonna stream it live as well. Like,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's gonna be. My understanding is we're gonna be in the chambers.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. He's an art lover, right? I mean.
He is an artist.
Okay,
he's
he's an art-
trained. Yeah, he went to art school.
Okay, okay, I got
he's
you.
an artist. He's a very big supporter of the arts. He's been working on several bills to help support the culture sector, and he wants us to talk so that the community, but especially I think his colleagues, can help to understand why
Why-
the,
so
the
art
art
is so-
bill that he's
is
trying
so-
to put forth is
It's
so important. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right, ladies, I want to thank you guys. Jeanette Ellers.
Yeah.
That's it. I got it right. And Levon Bell.
Yes.
I want to thank you, ladies, for coming through here. I Am Queen Mary. They have the Artist Talk and Open Forum. You ladies, give your social media and any kind of contact info, if you will, if you
well,
must.
first we have our project website, which is iamqueenmary.com. But both of us were all on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Instagram with Levon Bell.
Okay.
I'm
And
on
I'm on
Twitter
Instagram,
at Bell on Blast, and Facebook also my name, Levon Bell.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm on Facebook as Jeanette Ehlers.
Okay.
And the
With
same
2 N's and 2
yeah,
T's.
double N, double T, and an E. And also on Instagram, Jeanette Ehlers. And Twitter, I think Jeanette E,
Oh.
actually. Just
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really use Twitter that much.
Okay. Well, hopefully they can find you guys on social
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
so they can comment and make. Just mainly comment. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for coming through.
Thank
It's
you
been a
again.
blast again. You were here just a few months ago.
Yeah, that's
And this is your first time here. Thank you for coming through and sharing with us. Do come back
Thanks
when
for
you
the
got something new or important or exciting to share. This is the place to do it. So we're leaving it at that, ladies. I just want to say real quick that this is the It's Your Perspective talk show every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 8 p.m. until. We had a special night today. We had a show at 6 and we had a show at 8:30. It is now 9:30. And we're going
tired.
Huh?
and you're tired.
And I'm tired, and we're going to turn all the bright lights off, and we'll call it quits. We'll see you guys next week. We do have some more shows lined up. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, we're going to be talking with another candidate running for office. Oh, God, I'm drawing a complete blank right now. Please forgive me. But I will be posting about it on Tuesday, so check out my postings on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So on that note, we're out. You guys have a great weekend. Peace.
We have it done in history, how to a weekend history.